All right, is this thing on? Test, test, test. Let me just put something here in the chat room. Recording, oops. Recording, what's up, Dave? It's open topics. So, what are we doing today? I have no idea. I've been sick today. I was feeling kind of bad, so I started to just record, I just mostly slept all day. But I've been thinking about what I want to do. Anyway, this is What's Up Dave. This is my daily stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet. And I've been doing this stream for... This might not be a short stream. But I've been doing this stream for, I think, over half a year now. There's like maybe 300 or so episodes of this, me just rambling to the camera. What do I really want to get out of this? I think I'm just creating a point of continuity for people and trying to share things that I think are interesting. And that might be the basis for something that is, I don't know, something coming down the line. But one thing I've been thinking about doing today is starting to outline what my productivity system for the year would be. So in years past, I've used things like the Emerging Task Planner. I've used Trello. I've used a number of tracking tools. And I think that the best, they've all had the common feature of being task-oriented and project-oriented. And the whole goal was to get these projects done and out of the way so I could theoretically move out, get on with having the interesting part of my life. And I'm starting to think that that doesn't work. I've talked about this in past episodes of What's Up, Dave. But this is the year that I think I'm really going to try to systematize my taskless, timeless, gathering-style productivity method. I've been thinking about this for months and months and months. And as I mentioned recently, one of the things that I think might work would be to try to let go of that sense of responsibility that I have to myself. In that, like, I'm trying to build myself into this the ideal productive person, because I don't think I am that person. Like, in my mind, the ideal productive person is someone who is doing, they make a list, they check it twice, and then they knock things off the list. And maybe some of the tweaks I'd made is like, well, let's figure out how many things I can knock off the list. How long does it take me to do some writing? How long does it take me to do a particular chore? How long does it take to figure out how to do something for the first time? So I have a number of different ways of characterizing the tasks that I do, but it doesn't really feel like the way I want to live my life. Now, that said, one can't be totally irresponsible about one's ability to sustain themselves. On the other hand, maybe the model of having the ideal, task master, list checker offer isn't the only approach. It's the approach that you see read about because it seems the most logical and rational. But is there a way to systemize a more irrational approach to life? And there's plenty of people out there who are doing amazing things that don't seem to have this sort of checklist-based thing. And so I had to ask myself, what kind of stuff do I want to really be doing, and what do I want to be remembered for? I want to be remembered for making beautiful, useful things. And I don't think that really adheres. The task-based project management is not the way that you do make beautiful, useful things. That merely is something that's highly correlated with it. People who are making these things for real, or have companies in this, and this is my background and work, is like, okay, we want to make something that's useful and beautiful. We have a particular budget. We have this client. We need these sign-offs. We have to make some sort of schedule so everyone can be synchronized, and we need to estimate things so we don't lose our shirts on this. And we have time to do other projects, and the company turns a profit at the end of the year. None of those things are related to the useful or beautiful thing. Those are all a structure that people have evolved to try to control it. So maybe another way of looking at this is maybe can they have a more uncontrolled, more random way of doing it that still nevertheless produces something useful. And this might be at the heart of what the pursuing one's passion is. I think when people talk about the pursuit of one's passions, it's more of the sort of almost spiritual thing that people are thinking about, or it's there's a little bit of that trust that if you pursue something passionately, then you'll get good at it and then something good will happen about it. But I think it glosses over the realistic aspects of, well, what does passion look like? Passion is not just that you merely really like something, or even that it really moves you. There is a compulsion, and there is a draw. You're drawn to it, and that you can't help yourself in doing it. And I think a general observation is if you do something a whole bunch of times, like you get better at it. You become more practiced, you become more smooth at it. And that gives you a modicum of skill that you can then apply or sell or advertise to other people. But again, that's not related to the making of the useful and beautiful thing. So maybe I'll rephrase this. This is the making of something that's useful and beautiful. That's, screw all these systems, screw all these ideas of task-based productivity. Let me just take care of that beeping thing if you can hear it right now. I'm boiling a big pot of water right now, trying to like just humidify the space a little faster, but I wasn't sure how long it would take to, I didn't want to burn this pot, which I did the other day. All right, so I'm gonna reset the timer for another 30 minutes. This stream should be done by then. Another thing I'm doing is trying to figure out how to light this space a little bit better. At nighttime, you can see that there's like these blown out parts, like in the bottom to the, I guess it'd be the upper left of my head. That part's all blown out. I need to figure out how to light this place, so it looks better on video. Do some improvements like that. So one thing that I'm passionate about apparently is just screwing around with this YouTube streaming stuff. There's no reason for me to do it, but I would have to say that, you know, maybe I've gained some mastery at doing this. So right now I'm looking at my YouTube channel, and what I want to do is watch, just like kind of observe the stream over there, so I can just go look and see what people are talking about. Let's starting up now at doing this. Okay, so now I can just like screw around with this. Let me turn this down though. And what I want to do is watch, just like kind of observe the stream over there, so I can just look and see what people are talking about. My hair is looking really ratty too. All right. So I want to like screw around with this. Turn this down though. So we're not going to do any like task-based playing today. What we're going to do is we're going to start working on this productivity system. So let me temporarily go to a split aux view. I spent some time messing around with cameras the other day. Or oops, what happened just here? Oops. This camera mount is kind of sucky. I don't know if this is going to work now. It's not holding anymore. Alright, so take this keyboard off. Let's move this mouse. And got some pieces of paper. Hopefully this will show up nice. I wish I had better camera exposure control on these things. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a, let's see, a system for making beautiful, useful things. And what is that? And so let me put some minuses here. This is not project management. Project management X. No. Time management. No. Again, like these things, project management, time management, task management, These are structures related to trying to manage the creative process. These do not produce the moments of usefulness or beauty. Again, like these things, project manager, manage, or they attempt to manage, I should say. Are structures related to trying to manage. You can still hear the TV behind me. It do not produce those moments of usefulness or. All right, that's better. To manage it. So these are distractions. These are distractions we want to do. Presumably this is my passion, let's say. Let's say this is what I really want to be remembered for. This is, I don't want to be remembered for, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Let me call it remembered for. So next, so I don't know what the system is yet. And this is where I apply whatever experience I have in breaking through preconceived notions. You know, a lot of people they'll look up something on the internet and they'll say, well, this is what someone says, so let me try that. And I've like never really found that approach ultimately. That's never an end point for me. Looking to see what other people have done is useful as in that form is like what I'm looking for, but it usually takes more learning on my side to really understand what they're trying to say. I would say like a lot of people do this kind of pattern-based approach. Like a kind of related example is like, you know, some graphic designers, their idea of graphic design is they go and buy the latest annual of award-winning design. And when they get a design project in, what they do is they look through these books for inspiration. It's something that they can adapt then to the client logo. You know, the whatever the job comes in. And this makes perfect sense if the goal of your life is to produce good-looking derivative graphic works at a reasonable cost and a reasonable time frame. And I've always had trouble with it because that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be efficient and productive in producing graphics that I haven't thoroughly explored. And this is maybe the artistic side of me that I never really acknowledged until maybe a few years ago. What I want to be doing is just making beautiful, useful things that are, I guess there's an originality to it. So let me write that down. There's a sense of originality in the sense that it comes from me. And that there is a, it may not be completely original, but it comes from me filtered through my perspective. Like, it's like if I wanted to make an app, like, of course I didn't invent the concept of the app, like, or of the computer or any of these other things, but I can put my own unique take on it. So filtered through my own unique take. So originality is important. So what else is important about making beautiful, useful things? There has to be a problem, or there has to be, you have to even see the opportunity for it. There has to be the desire to see the use / beauty. And I think the joy for me, and the pursuit of joy is an important thing for this year. Let me add that, plus pursuit of joy. Let's say just joyful experiences, joyful, well, we can break this down later. I'm gonna put that in quotes. Joy, I would say, comes from having made something new, having made the useful, beautiful thing. Useful, beautiful thing. how can you get an acronym for I could call a beautiful, useful thing. The acronym for that is BUT. So it's not working out well. Having made the thing and then also having shared it. That's important too. And then also seeing people use it. Seeing people have a positive reaction. And this is, I guess, this is actually pretty important, this whole joy thing. The beautiful, useful things. Originality, the desire to see the joy for me is seeing it come to life. And used by people. So we haven't gone to the system part yet, obviously. We are working on what the parameters are for what beautiful, useful things are. And then I think a necessary thing is the doing. The doing and making. And I do have systems in place for this that produce, I'll use the acronym BUT, B, until I think of a better acronym. B-U-T. And this is learning, practicing, failing, experimenting. In the realm of physical making. If you can't look at it, you can't touch it, you didn't do it. You didn't make a beautiful thing. You're goofing out. You're goofing around. And you can get stuck in doing this for forever, but the push has to be to see something. Push to see something finished so you can have the reaction. I think that's an important this is probably an important system thing. Push to see something finished so you can have a reaction. And so then after this, so this is maybe the core, and this is something they already do. And I've been trying to do it in the project management and stuff, but it doesn't seem to work for me. See, someone else has joined. Today is What's Up Dave. I am designing a system for making beautiful, useful things, getting away from project management, task management, time management as the basis of it, because that's scaffolding and it doesn't actually help you make the useful, beautiful thing. It tries to manage it. And the time I spend in managing something, it's time I'm not spending in the joyful making of things. That's my theory anyway. It might work better in a company if you're with other people and collaborating with other people, but I'm not collaborating with other people generally and making useful, beautiful things. So to apply the management model to what I'm doing, I think is well, for the past 5 years, it's been fairly fruitless. Anything that I've made of note has been when I have ignored all that stuff and just done it. So the systematizing of this will come from acknowledging that reality and then finding ways to accrue results. Let's add that to this. The accrual of successful or useful experiences. So let's call this page, this is the page of parameters, characters. Got originality, desire to see the use, beauty, of the thing. We have the doing and making that produces the beautiful, useful thing. And then we have the accrual of successful or useful experiences. And then this is a reviewable, browsable gallery of good stuff. So I'm trying to think if there's a way I can like reduce originality, desire. Let me underline this because I'm going to use these as terms. This is really the result. The results, which are good or bad. Accrual of successful, useful experiences. Accrual will be the word there. So let me take these and let me write this over on this side. So this system for making beautiful, useful things. And now I'm going to go full aux screen just so I can, just to see if other people are typing stuff. Let me actually also add to the chat window here what I'm actually doing. I'm designing a productivity system for making, quote, beautiful, useful things to replace a traditional task management, time management approach. So in case people pop in and they're wondering what the hell I'm doing. And how long have we been going on this thing? It's been 21 minutes. Let's go another 10 or 15 minutes on this. I'll set a timer with my... Hey Siri! Nope, my phone isn't anywhere near me. So we'll go to the backup. Boom. 15 minutes. Alright, so this page, these are characteristics, these are prompts, these are facets, these are, I would call these the truths of making, or maybe these are the metrics. If I have a system for making beautiful, useful things, I am saying that originality, desire, tangible results, and accrual are an essential part of this system. And each of these has an activity. I'm going to add something else, which is the, this will be out of order, the identifying the need and audience for beauty and utility. And I'm going to put felt need. Because why do it? Do it otherwise. Okay, so these are the metrics. And by metrics I mean these are the qualifying ideas that allow me to assess whether or not the system is actually useful or not. Sterling says, yeah, that's what you're doing. Yes, I should have put that in the beginning, but I just sort of jumped into this. I've been talking about this here and there in the co-working chat room about making this, what I was calling the taskless, timeless gathering model of productivity. So this is like my personal system. This is not a system that I'm intending to make for other people. Although if people will want to try it, you know, once they have it worked out, then that'll be good. So now on this piece of paper here, I have the metrics. Here's the metrics page. How do I systematize this now? And I know the system that is already in place is like I see something, I feel the desire to make it, and then I do, the where I get stuck is the doing and accrual of it. Systemize. Here's the systemizing pass. So let me just make a quick little diagram. Originality. Oh, I already screwed this up. I should see. I'll make this one. Identify need. I don't want to put need in because that seems I'm doing. Identify. And then there is desire to do. Maybe these are the same thing. Oh, this is the same thing. Okay, so here's phase one. And then over here we have doing, making, it produces results. Doing, making, producing results. 2. And then the last thing is really the accrual and organization. I feel like I'm going in a circle here. So these are these three things. This one I already do, but too many ideas. And the reason why I put too many in quotes there is because maybe I'm thinking about this in terms of, or in the past I've thought about having too many things to do as filling in a pipeline that will never be finished. But if I instead think of it again kind of as the constellation of possibilities, this is my fruit farming gathering model of productivity, constellation of possibilities, then that issue goes away. Again, so I have to detask manage. So anything that smacks of like me trying to manage this process is suspect. Like, oh, if I just only do one thing a day, or if I do 3 things a day, or if I make a good estimate of that's all management bullshit. I don't want that stuff. I want to be able to not feel the burden of managing that stuff because it gets in the way of the doing, theoretically. I'm not sure though. Them doing and making, producing results. This I do okay. This is harder. This is harder because of the starting. But I think because starting is hard. But I think the insight that comes from this, starting is hard because I'm putting in the management context. And I'm thinking of like a manager. And what do I mean when I say I'm thinking like a manager? What I'm saying is that, like, oh, I have to produce this thing by the certain time so I can be efficient about it. Or I have to be mindful of the resources that I'm using so I don't overextend myself. Largely, like, I don't have to worry about these things. Well, it's not true in the sense that I have to still like make money to live. But if that's taken care of in some way, and this is what I'm thinking about the accrual organization part of things. This part is where there's a bridge to actual income and connection, opportunity. Because the accrual and organization of the successful moments, that creates a body of work that has worth. And because it has beauty, usefulness, originality, and actually works, it has immediately applicable value. This is a bridge to practicality. And then from this, money, jobs, cool people. Anyway, getting back to this. Worried about resource management. And kind of related to this, when you're worrying about resource management, again, you're not really thinking about making the beautiful, useful thing. Creativity itself is uncertain. And by that, when creativity under my metrics is uncertain because you're trying to make something new that you haven't done before. Otherwise, you're just shopping for a solution. That's a different role. So managing it just adds stress. And it's different if you have someone else who's specifically worried about it. If you have a manager who has that role. But if you're the manager and you're the creator at the same time, I'm not sure that's such a good idea. So man, just adds stress. The roles need to be separate. Now that's not to say that every creative job works like this, but that's a different, those creative jobs I think tend to be designed as businesses to begin with. A good example of business, if you're like making pies, you're a pie making company, and you've already standardized all of your process, and so it's a matter of just going through that process. You can be still making beautiful and use delicious things, and maybe that's something to let me add this at the bottom. An alternative is to build a process that creates beautiful, useful thing predictably, which is what people always tell you to do. But I don't think I'm at that stage. That might be a second stage. This is the second stage. This is also second stage. This is second stage / business. This here is second stage in the sense of this is the second stage as an artisan. Maybe this is the third stage even. And this is where you need to hire people. Otherwise you'll go insane. Unless it's scaled down to a small enough size. And this could really come out of like the whole accrual thing. Alright, so I'm not sure if this diagram is making sense. Let me see if I filled out everything. The accrual and organization of success. This is blogging, sharing. And I'm sort of stuck with the existing website because it's not a good experience. Let's call this one system pack 1. Which time is left? I think I've gone on too long about this, so I think this is going to be it for today. Let's see. I probably should go to sleep again because I feel this cough coming back. Just get under the blankets and stay warm. But that's where we're going today. So we've done some systemization of this, and I will get on with I guess doing this tomorrow. So I'm just going to stick these things over here on this shelf I got, and we'll look at that tomorrow. Let me get my keyboard back. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll see. I guess I'll just continue with this stuff. There's some like toy related stuff that I want to do, but this is really what's on my mind right now. So we'll just see how that goes. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.